Hi friends, welcome to the Share Report. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to share this channel and get on board. So typically I only post all things political, whether it be social issues, fiscal issues, current events that's happening in our world, all the things. But I'm kind of departing from that today, not indefinitely, but just today. So I wanted to share a little bit about gardening. So this channel is very much about educating yourselves, and I think that gardening goes along with it because, as you know, in the current climate we're living in with inflation through the roof, food prices are sky high. That all comes from our lovely, wonderful government, which we know. So I think it's really good to educate yourself to be as self-sufficient as possible. I mean, I know we all can't live off the land. I don't live off the land, obviously. And one of the things I like to tell people is just to educate yourself and to know, even if you just do something very little, to be somewhat independent, because in this day and age it's good to be independent and not so reliant on other people, but to be self-sufficient in just a small way. And I think that gardening is a good place to start, at least with this control over the food, which we're seeing, these places that are, burning down, which we've heard in the past few years, these places that are being just randomly burned down, or just even the cost of eggs going up, a lot of things going up. So it's just good to be as self-sufficient as possible. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I do to start a small garden. You're probably thinking, oh, I don't have a lot of land, but you don't have to have a lot of land. You can do some small container gardening and incorporate them around your yard, all the things. So I want to share that with you. So we're going to do a little bit of container gardening today. We're going to start really small. I'm going to share a tip with you. I'm going to insert the video here where it's a secret that I like. It's not really a secret, but just a tip that I wanted to share of how I do my herb garden if I don't want to start from seeds. So I will insert that for you. All right, so I have a little tip for you. If you do not want to start your herbs from seeds and you just want to buy them inexpensively to put in your herb garden, I actually buy my herbs. I have several. I just picked up a bunch, and I buy them organic. This is actually from Trader Joe's. They have a bunch of herbs. I love buying their herbs, and then I add them into my herb garden. So that is a tip for you if you're not wanting to start from scratch, or if you're wanting to buy inexpensive organic ones. Trader Joe's is the way to go. I bought a bunch because I like to add them, and I cook them in lots of dishes that I make and add them to different things. So that is a tip for you. We're going to get our garden started today, as well as plant a bunch of other fall things. So let's get to planting. Okay, so now that you have my little tips and tricks for buying organic herbs, we're going to go ahead and get our container ready. This is actually an old wash basin or some sort of trough. It's really old, so it already has some holes in there for good drainage. So if you're using a container, make sure that it has really good drainage, because you don't want the moisture to sit in there, because it'll cause bacteria and your plants will get all moldy and just not really good. So this is really good and a perfect size for herbs. So I just recently bought some really good rich black dirt. You want to have really good dirt. If you do have some dirt that's been sitting around, you want to make sure you mix it up a little bit. There are some things called worm castings, which is really good for gardening. I don't have any at this time. There's a friend of a friend that has some. I want to be able to get some eventually, but just recently I got some really good, fresh, rich black dirt, and it does wonderfully in gardens. So we're going to fill this up. We're going to find a good spot for it that gets a good amount of light, not beaming down, because remember, this is an herb garden. So that's what we're going to do first, is find a good location for this. Okay, the rest is pretty self-explanatory. We're just gonna start planting our herbs. We got our nice rich black dirt here. I probably should be wearing gloves, but I like to feel the soil. It feels good. So we have sage here. We're gonna plant them nice and gently. I have basil, which I really love. The smell of basil, I love, love, love making this butter. And I will finely chop the basil add it to the butter and a little bit of honey, and it makes a really good basil butter spread on biscuits. It is so delicious. Maybe I'll do a video on that, or a cook with me video on that. So something interesting and unique, because you guys are probably like, this girl is very angry all the time. She's always posting political videos. She's just angry at the world. Actually, I'm not. So maybe I'll liven it up and show you that I have a really nice side to me that's really pleasant, and a less flustered video talking about politicians, because we know how flustering they can be. So, and I have sage, I have some rosemary. I used to have a really nice rosemary plant. It got really big. Then I took it out of the ground and forgot to plant it, and then it died. So that's unfortunate. So hopefully this one will get really good. This actually is really good for repelling bugs. And then we have some really good, I think this is thyme. Yes, pretty sure this is thyme. So we're gonna get to planting these. Pretty self-explanatory.